So we got another news release today for Tenet FinTech, and even though the market had a pretty good day, Tenet really struggled. The market really didn't understand, I don't think, what this is about and how big and important this is. If you go back to what kind of numbers we're expecting the clean tech portion of their business to give us, and it's that we're being told it's a 70% margin business, and these margins and revenues are supposed to start feeding in by Q3, which is just around the corner. Basically, they said, so I'll read some of it here. Tenet signs National Clean Energy Strategic Cooperation Agreement with state-owned power company. Announced it signed a national strategic cooperation agreement with China's Shanghai Electric Power Company, the SEPC, to help the country with the implementation of its policy to have its carbon emissions peak by 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. So the SEPC and Tenet have agreed to partner up to prepare, present, and promote nationwide solar power project proposals to the entities responsible for awarding the implementation of such projects. The proposed projects will run through the I-3060 platform, while the SEPC will fund, manage, and operate them. So they've said this before, the I-3060 clean energy platform is a tool used to digitize the feasibility and life cycle of a variety of clean energy projects. This is the same as their agreement with the CEEC, which I actually want to talk about them after this, because this is even CEEC is actually even a bigger deal than this one, I would say, right now. Like, they can land that one. But basically, for instance, with the I-3060, virtually every rooftop in the country could potentially be converted into a small solar power plant, not only potentially capable of meeting the energy needs of the business or residents under the roof, but also able to sell excess energy produced to the energy grid. So the SEPC is a century-old subsidiary of the SPIC, and one of China's most important energy corporations. From its very beginning, they've been dedicated to providing the Chinese population with clean, alternative source of energy. And although today's announcement agreement is between Tenet and the SEPC, the company is working with the China Energy Engineering Corp, CEEC, on an ongoing pilot project in 6 cities highlighting I-30 capabilities, and expects to have a similar strategic cooperation and agreement in place with the CEEC in the near future. So just going back to the CEEC one really quick here. They kind of slipped this one in here, and I think everyone missed it. Here they have an ongoing pilot project in 6 cities. When we go back to the MD&A that they just put out, they actually had a pilot project in 4 cities. They've expanded the pilot project by 2 cities, and they just kind of slid that in the news release, which I thought was pretty interesting. So basically, why like the CEEC is potentially a bigger deal is they kind of get, like, they haven't got the same agreement set up with the CEC yet. Like, it's still in a pilot, but they want to like get there. So when it comes to the renewable energy sector, completion must be put aside for the greater good of achieving our national objectives, says SEPC's General Chief Engineer. We're excited about this partnership with Tenet, and we look forward to potentially working with other energy and technology companies to continue to move the country's renewable energy commitment forward and explore opportunities beyond China. The partnership has been several months in the making, and I want to thank Mr. Lee and SEPC for their patience and opportunity to allow us to showcase our value proposition in China's renewable energy sector, commented Golden. Given the increasingly important roles that energy and engineering companies like the SEPC and the CEEC and their contractors play in clean energy projects around the world, and the I-3060's capabilities, we look forward to working with our renewable energy partners for projects in China, and firmly expect to also obtain our fair share of projects outside of China in the coming months and years. So, like they said, they expect to have a similar strategic cooperation agreement in place with the CEEC in the near future, which has now been expanded from a pilot project of 4 to 6 cities. So that tells me that the pilot's gone well in the 4 cities. They're expanding it. These big engineering and companies like what they see, and Now they've got a new partnership with the SEPC. So going back again and looking at the CEEC partnership, right? This is the old one. Funding for the projects is provided through the business hub. All or part of the energy generated can be used for the building owners or sold to the energy grid. So the reason why the CEC is potentially a much bigger deal and why they need to land it is because the funding is provided through the business hub itself. So this is like, not only are they going to be able to generate revenues through the I-3060 platform for the technology, but also they're going to be able to help fund the projects, while their partnership with the SEPC is going to be funded by the SEPC. Sorry, guys. So that's why it's a little more exciting. Plus, if you dig into the CEEC, they're a much bigger company. Both these companies are Fortune 500 companies, but last year, so this is from their quarterlies, they did RMB 872.61 billion in revenues, a year-on-year increase of almost 20%. They ranked 301st in the Global 500, up by 52 over last year. They ranked third in the ENR's top 150 global engineering design firms, up by 2 over last year. They ranked 27th of the top 225 international design firms, and ranked second among the Chinese enterprises, which ranked in both lists. The company ranked 13th and 21st in the top 250 global contractors. So CEEC is actually a much bigger conglomerate than the SEPC. Not to say the SEPC EPC is not huge, as I'm going to show you guys, but they're about so they're almost 900 billion RMB. The SEPC is about 300 billion RMB, which, I mean, if you want to look at it, your difference of like 120 billion US per year versus 40 billion US per year. So you know, like, we need to get excited about the CEEC partnership. Golden was very excited in the last quarterly report, and I think this is really going to be big for the company going forward. So let's look at the SPIC. So this is the company that the SEPC subsidiary that Tenet's working with is under. So the SPIC actually has 62 subsidiaries under it because it's so large. Tenet is less than 20. It's just kind of the way a lot of companies seem to do it over in China. They have all these different little subsidiaries. But regardless, like, they're still part of this massive enterprise. Like, when we talk about Tenet, we talk about Tenet. We don't just talk about their little subsidiary companies, right? So it's very much part of this business as a whole. So as one of the 5 major power generation groups in China, they're the largest solar power generation enterprise in the world. SPIC ranked 316th among the Fortune Global 500 in 2020, with its businesses covering 46 countries and regions. SPIC has 130,000 employees and 62 subsidiary entities. And here's where you can see their assets. So they've got like almost $1 trillion in RMB in assets, like 202 billion US, 42 billion in revenues, 3 billion in profits, 2 billion in net profits. And this is the smaller company. Like, they've already got their thing going on with the CEEC that's even bigger than these guys. And these guys are the largest solar power generation enterprise in the world. So like, these guys are a huge deal. The CEEC is also a huge deal, and now they're working with both, right? So again, world's largest, right? So covering all the power generation types: solar, wind, hydrothermal, and nuclear power generation. The world's largest solar power generation enterprise again, and one of 3 major nuclear power operators in China. You can see here they have projects where they have them all over the world. A 7% clean energy. Here's our solar. So again, restating, number 1 in the world, total installed capacity of solar power, 29.61 gigawatts. So the SPIC has developed a vertically synergistic photovoltaic industry chain integrating polysilicon manufacturing, wafer solar cells and modules, and solar voltaic power generation. So these guys basically build it all. They do it all, right from the fabrication of the cells all the way up to installation and then even management. So they've got hydrogen energy products, energy storage, integrated smart energy. And here's a pretty cool slide at the end. We can see the big 3060, just like the i3060 in red. So at the China Brand Forum 2020, hosted by People's Daily on December 8th, 2020, I can't say his name, but Mr. Kuyan Zim, I believe, chairman of SPIC, delivered a speech titled, "The Era of Green Smart Energy Megabrands Has Come." In the speech, he announced that by 2023, SPIC would achieve the carbon peak in China, becoming the first central state-owned enterprise to announce the time for realizing carbon peak. So in 2020, they became a leading clean energy enterprise with a total capacity of 179 gigawatts. By 2025, they want to get to 220 gigawatts. And by 2035, 270 gigawatts, with the total proportion of installed power generated from clean energy rising at 75%. So these are big guys. And Tenet just keeps making these big partnerships, and the market just keeps overlooking them, I think. I'm really excited about this one. I think it's going to be really exciting for Q3 coming up. Like, there's still a chance that they could lock in this partnership with the CEEC as well, either in or maybe even before Q3, and we can start to see some massive revenues and profits generated from these partnerships. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you listening to me break it down. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.